सत श्री अकाल एंड वेलकम टू सीजे सिद्धू शो। जिस तरह पता ही है कि मैं हर थर्सडे थोड़े रूबरू होना है तो थोड़ी गलबात कराई दी मोस्टली पॉलिटिशियंस बट कई बारी कम्यूनिटी जोड़े इशूज़ है उन्होंने बारे भी गलबात करी दी है। इधर इज मैंटल हैल्थ इशू और चिल्ड्रनस इशू और ऑटिज्म इशूज़। सो वो देखी दा है भी किहड़ी गल अपना उस टाइम तो चल रही है। जिवें लास्ट वीक वॉज मैंटल हैल्थ वीक, सो ਉਹਦੇ ਵਿੱਚ मैं हुण सैटअप कर रहा किसी मैंटल हैल्थ स्पैशल लैके आवांगे ताकि ਜਿਹੜੀਆਂ काफ़ी ਜਿਹੜੀਆਂ प्रॉब्लम अपनी कम्यूनिटी ਦੇ ਵਿੱਚ ਚੱਲ ਰਹੀਆਂ ਉਹਨੂੰ ਜਿਹੜੇ फस्ट हैंड पीपलों ਨੂੰ एक्सपीरियंस है उसके बारे ਉਹਦੇ ਬਾਰੇ ਗੱਲਬਾਤ कर ਸਕੀਏ। पर मैं नॉर्मली आपका शो शुरू करता हूँ कि अपने जी करंट वर्ल्ड ਦੇ ਵਿੱਚ ਕੀ ਚੱਲ ਰਿਹਾ। एज यू नो प्रेजिडेंट ट्रंप इज़ इन चाइना राइट नाउ एंड मीटिंग ए प्रेजिडेंट शी एंड ये देखने मिलूगा कि उन्होंने की गलबात होंगी है। देर 3-4 बर्निंग इशूज़ देर ईरान वार फॉर श्योर एंड हार्मूज स्ट्रेट ऑफ हार्मूज उन्होंने खोलन लिए वो करनगे भी ताकि जोड़ा ऑयल है वो निकले प्राइजेस डाउन आउन। सो वो गलबात होगी। दे हैव टू टॉक अबाउट Taiwan लिटिल बिट। सो let's see if they keep it independent and don't do their they will talk about tariffs and stuff. So एक खास मुद्दे है जो प्रेजिडेंट ट्रंप ने उन्होंने गलबात करनी है। This will wrap up by Friday. We will see what happens there. Very important and two superpowers getting together. They have a very good welcome reception there in China. तो हुण देखने को मिलूगा कि इन्हां दी जिहड़ी गलबात है किस तरह। चाइना इज़ अ वेरी स्ट्रोंग कंट्री एज वैल एज अमेरिका इज़। सो ये देखने को मिलूगा कि इत्थों की सलूशन निकल के आउंदे है। ये बहुत जरूरी है क्योंकि वर्ल्ड पीस इज़ वेरी इंपोर्टेंट फॉर एवरीबडी। एनीवेज बाकी कैनेडा दे विच तुहानूं पता ही है कि प्राइम मिनिस्टर कार्नी जिहड़े इज़ वर्किंग रियली हार्ड टू मेक दिस कंट्री मोर इंडिपेंडेंट एंड नॉट टू मच डिपेंडेंट ऑन USA। ਉਹਦੇ ਲਈ ਫਿਰ ਇਹ ਜਿਹੜੇ ਡੀਲਸ ਬਣਾ ਰਹੇ ਆ ਜਿਹੜੇ ਕੌਂਟਰੈਕਟਸ ਬਣਾ ਰਹੇ ਆ ਤੇ ਉਹ ਬਹੁਤ ਜ਼ਰੂਰੀ ਹੈਗੇ ਆ ਕੈਨੇਡਾ ਲਈ। ਤੇ ਹੁਣ ਰੀਸੈਂਟਲੀ ਜਿਹੜੀ ਹੈਗੀ ਕਾਰਬਨ ਟੈਕਸ ਦੀ ਗੱਲ ਚੱਲ ਰਹੀ ਹੈ। ਕਾਰਬਨ ਟੈਕਸ ਬਿਕਾਜ਼ ਆਫ ਖਾਸ ਕਰਕੇ ਅਲਬਰਟਾ ਨਾਲ ਉਹਨਾਂ ਨੇ ਡੀਲ ਬਣਾਈ ਹੈ। ਦੇ ਸੌਫਟਨ देयर ਸਟੈਂਡਸ ਔਨ everyone gallon of the gas is supposed to be $170 carbon tax by 2030. But he softened it, it will be $130. Premium EB is not very happy about it. They said I have to be a similar deal. Premium EB is not happy about a lot of things. ਉਹ ਜਿਹੜੀ ਪਾਈਪਲਾਈਨ ਹੈ ਪਾਈਪਲਾਈਨ ਬਾਰੇ ਵੀ ਖੁਸ਼ ਨਹੀਂ ਗਏ। ਸੋ ਇਹ ਚੀਜ਼ਾਂ ਜਿਹੜੀਆਂ ਹੈਗੀਆਂ ਫॉर ਡਿਵੈਲਪਮੈਂਟ ਇਹ ਕਰਨੀਆਂ ਬਹੁਤ ਜ਼ਰੂਰੀ ਹੈਗੀਆਂ ਆ। ਪਰ ਹੁਣ ਇਹ ਦੇਖਣ ਨੂੰ ਮਿਲੂਗਾ ਕਿਉਂਕਿ ਪ੍ਰਾਈਮ ਮਿਨਿਸਟਰ ਕਾਰਨੀ ਟਰਾਈ ਟੂ ਬੈਲੈਂਸ ਇਟ ਐਜ਼ ਪੋਸੀਬਲ। तो उस तो इलावा तुहानूं पता ही है कि जिहड़ा अनरैस्ट अपनी स्ट्रीट्स ते चल रहा है। सरी दे विच गैंग वार चल रहा है। डेथ हुई है बड़ी सैड 16-year-old 18-year-old was killed the other day and it's a heartbreaking to see the young people why they getting into this kind of lifestyle and losing their lives in this kind of things and extortion है। So city दे election भी आ रहे हैं हालांकि that's on October 17 एंड ਉਹਦਾ टाइम पे आया। पर ਜਿਹੜੀਆਂ ਟੀਮਾਂ ਹੈਗੀਆਂ ਉਹ ਆਲਰੇਡੀ ਰੈਡੀ ਹੋਈਆਂ ਉਹਨਾਂ ਲਾਂਚ ਕਰ ਰਹੇ। ਤੁਹਾਨੂੰ ਪਤਾ ਹੀ ਹੈ ਕਿ 6-7 ਟੀਮਾਂ ਆਲਰੇਡੀ ਲਾਂਚ ਹੋ ਚੁੱਕੀਆਂ। ਮੇਅਰ ਬ੍ਰੈਂਡਾ ਲੌਕ ਉਹਨਾਂ ਦੀ ਸਰੀ ਕਨੈਕਟ ਟੀਮ ਐਂਡ ਉਹਨਾਂ ਦੇ ਸਿਟਿੰਗ ਜਿਹੜੇ ਹੈਗੇ ਆ ਕਾਉਂਸਲਰਸ ਹੈਰੀ ਬੇਨਸ ਗੋਡ ਹੈਪਨਰ ਪ੍ਰਦੀਪ ਕੂਨਰ ਐਂਡ ਰੌਬ ਸਟਟ। ਤੇ ਫਿਰ ਇਹਨਾਂ ਨੇ ਕਪਲ ਆਫ ਜਿਹੜੇ ਨਵੇਂ ਮੈਂਬਰ ਰੌਨ ਟੈਪਰ ਐਂਡ ਨਾਓਮੀ ਵਿਕਟੋਰੀਨਾ इन्हों ऐड किया है आपकी सलेट दे विच। एंड then कंजरवेटिव पार्टी ऑफ Surrey, I was about to say BC but Conservative Party of Surrey Honveer Randhawa. So that's a new trend I seen, like Conservative Party of Surrey and then Conservative Party of Vancouver or Liberal Party of Vancouver or Liberal Party of Surrey. I'm hearing the rumors that probably they will announce too. So Honveer Randhawa ਉਹਨਾਂ ਨਾਲ ਆਪਣੇ ਕੌਂਸਲਰ ਦੇ ਮੈਂਬਰ ਰਸ਼ਿੰਦਰ ਕੌਰ ਜਿਹੜੇ ਕਾਫੀ ਐਕਟਿਵ ਹੈ ਕਮਿਊਨਿਟੀ ਦੇ ਵਿੱਚ ਉਹਨਾਂ ਦਾ ਨਾਂ ਹੈ। ਬਾਕੀ ਕੈਂਡੀਡੇਟਸ ਜਿਹੜੇ ਹੈਗੇ ਤੁਸੀਂ ਉਹਨਾਂ ਦੀ ਵੈਬਸਾਈਟ 'ਤੇ ਜਾ ਕੇ ਦੇਖ ਸਕਦੇ ਹੋ। ਉਸ ਤੋਂ ਇਲਾਵਾ ਲਿੰਡਾ ਐਨਿਸ ਸਰੀ ਫਰਸਟ ਟੀਮ ਐਂਡ ਉਹਨਾਂ ਨੇ ਨਵੀਂ ਕੈਂਡੀਡੇਟ ਐਡ ਕੀਤੀ ਹੈ ਸ਼ਾਇਨਾ ਵਰਮਾਨੀ ਰੀਸੈਂਟਲੀ। ਉਸ ਤੋਂ ਇਲਾਵਾ ਤੁਹਾਨੂੰ ਪਤਾ ਹੀ ਹੈ ਕਿ ਗਗਨਦੀਪ ਨਾਹਲ ਜਿਹੜੇ ਕਿ criminal defense lawyer है young guy, he is part of their team। जसरूप गोसल वो भी उन्होंने एंड बिलाल चीमा ਸੋ ਉਹਨਾਂ ਦੀ ਟੀਮ ਦੇ ਵਿੱਚ ਜਿਹੜੇ ਮੈਂਬਰ ਹੈਗੇ ਆ, ਤੇ ਉਸ ਤੋਂ ਇਲਾਵਾ ਹੋਰ ਵੀ ਕੋਈ ਕੈਂਡੀਡੇਟ ਹੈਗੇ, ਸਾਰਿਆਂ ਦਾ ਨਾਮ ਤੁਸੀਂ ਉਹਨਾਂ ਦੀ ਵੈਬਸਾਈਟ 'ਤੇ ਜਾ ਕੇ ਦੇਖ ਸਕਦੇ ਹੋ। ਮੇਅਰ ਫਾਰਮਰ ਮੇਅਰ ਡਗ ਮੈਕਲਮ ਐਂਡ ਹਿਜ਼ ਟੀਮ ਸੇਵ ਸਰੀ, ਉਹਨਾਂ ਨੇ ਵੀ ਅਨਾਊਂਸ ਕੀਤਾ ਆ। ਐਂਡ ਉਹਨਾਂ ਨਾਲ 2 ਸਿਟਿੰਗ ਕਾਉਂਸਲਰਸ ਡਗ ਐਲਫਰਡ ਐਂਡ ਮਨਦੀਪ ਨਾਗਰਾ, ਉਹ ਵਿਲ ਬੀ ਰਨਿੰਗ ਅਗੇਨ। ਐਂਡ ਬਾਕੀ ਟੀਮ ਜਿਹੜੀ ਹੈ ਉਹਨਾਂ ਨੇ ਕਿਹਾ ਕਿ ਸਮਰ ਤੋਂ ਬਾਅਦ ਉਹ ਡਿਕਲੇਅਰ ਕਰਨਗੇ ਉਹਨਾਂ ਦੇ ਮੈਂਬਰ। ਐਂਡ ਦੈਨ ਮਾਈਕ ਸਟਾਰਚਕ ਜਿਹੜੇ ਕਿ ਫਾਰਮਰ ਕਾਉਂਸਲਰ, ਫਾਰਮਰ MLA, ਉਹਨਾਂ ਦੀ ਇਮੈਜਿਨ ਸਰੀ ਟੀਮ ਉਹਨਾਂ ਨੇ ਅਨਾਊਂਸ ਕੀਤੀ ਹੈ। ਉਹਦੇ ਵਿੱਚ ਪਰਮਿੰਦਰ ਚੌਹਾਨ, ਚੰਦਨ ਚਾਹਲ, ਆਸ਼ੀਆਨਾ ਹਨੀਫ ਜਿਹੜੇ ਕਿ ਜਰਨਲਿਸਟ ਹੈ ਸਾਡੇ ਵਾਂਗੂ, ਸੋ ਸ਼ੀ ਇਜ਼ ਪਾਰਟ ਆਫ ਦੈਟ ਟਾਈਮ। ਐਂਡ ਦ ਨਿਊ team announced recently is called Surrey Now, and their mayor candidate is Troy Van Vliet, and ਉਹਨਾਂ ਨੂੰ ਮੈਂ ਅੱਜ ਸੱਦਿਆ ਗੱਲਬਾਤ ਕਰਨ ਲਈ। and he is a non-politician at this point, but now he will be a politician. It will be interesting to see. And ਇਹਨਾਂ ਦੀ ਜਿਹੜੀ background ਹੈਗੀ ਹੈ, he says he's unapologetically Canadian. ਇਹਨਾਂ ਦੀ family generations ago came to Canada, large family of 7, looking for pastures and willing to work honestly and tirelessly. Construction industry 'ਚ ਇਹਨਾਂ ਨੇ build ਕੀਤਾ ਆ, ਇਹਨਾਂ ਦੀ father ਦੀ company ਸ਼ੁਰੂ ਕੀਤੀ ਸੀ, and then he keep on going on that. And so I like few wordings on his website that the houses are not the buildings and not the structures, but they are the backdrop to people's lives, when you live in there. And I remember one time I was interviewing Dharmendra Paji, a film star. He's passed away unfortunately, and I was sitting with him when I interviewed him in California. So ਜਦੋਂ ਉਹਨਾਂ ਨਾਲ ਗੱਲਬਾਤ ਹੁੰਦੀ ਸੀ, and he was showing me a script of his coming films and movies, and he exactly one of the superstars in the Hindi movies, and he said, CJ, this is my baby, and this is not any script. This is, we go through and built a movie that people will love and reflect their families. So when I saw that, the houses I just built 5 years ago, and that's where I live, that's my life, that's where my kids will grow up. And cities are not just collection of buildings. I like that. They are communities where families put down roots. ਆਪਾਂ ਜਿਹੜੀ ਸਿਟੀ ਦੇ ਵਿੱਚ ਆਪਦਾ ਸ਼ਹਿਰ ਬਣਾਈਦਾ ਆ, ਉੱਥੇ ਫਿਰ ਬੱਚੇ ਆ, ਆਪਣੇ ਬੱਚੇ ਉੱਥੇ ਪੜ੍ਹਦੇ ਆ, they go to the school, they are part of the community, go to the parks, and they built the communities around it. So if I go on that, it will take whole of my interview. Before going further, because his mandate is very simple: safe streets, smart growth, strong families. So ਇਹਨਾਂ ਸਾਰੀਆਂ ਗੱਲਾਂ ਬਾਤਾਂ ਕਰਨ ਲਈ, and the last part of the mandate is the city hall that delivers. So it's a fresh air in this political arena, because everybody is a previous politicians. Troy, welcome to CJ Sidhu Show.
CJ, thank you for having me. It's truly an honor and privilege to be here today, and congratulations on the success of your show.
Yeah, thank you.
And it's a great way to be able to connect with the community, especially the Indo-Canadian community.
Yes, it's very important, because our show is not confined to Surrey only. It's a worldwide.
Yeah.
It goes worldwide. India, Australia, New Zealand, England, USA, worldwide. Yeah. Our network, a huge network, and a lot of people think that maybe our studio is based in Surrey, but we have a huge network that's seen worldwide this show. And predominantly South Asian people watch that show on a regular basis, and I get very good feedback. So welcome to my show. I briefly introduce you. Probably you have more to say about yourself.
Yeah. Well, one small correction. My dad came from a family of 10 boys.
Oh, 10 boys.
No girls, all boys.
Oh,
so,
boy.
Yes.
Boy.
Yeah. And they immigrated one at a time from the Netherlands. That's where they were all born. And they came over, most of them, I think, in their late teens, early 20s.
So you have 9 brothers?
No,
no,
this is
your
my
dad.
My dad has 9 other brothers, yes.
Wow.
So,
and you, how many
I'm one of 3. Yeah,
one
I'm
of
just
3.
one of 3. So I have
Any,
an older brother,
any
older sister. Yeah.
Oh, you have a sister?
Yes, I have a sister.
Probably everybody's excited to see the sister in the
yeah, exactly. And I have 2 girls. So, but my brother's got 5 boys. So he's got all the boys, and myself and my sister have got the girls.
Yeah,
so,
I had a chance to meet one of your daughters.
Yes. Oh, great.
Such a cutie.
Yeah. That's my youngest daughter, Annika. But they immigrated here one at a time. They originally landed in Alberta, and they started up their own, by my dad's oldest brother, they started up their own construction company. It's called Van Construction, our last name being Van Vliet. And so all 10 brothers at one point were partners in the construction company. Imagine that. That's a heck of a family business.
Getting along at that many brothers.
I know. And they eventually moved to BC, actually fairly early on, and they met, my dad met my mom here, but she was also an immigrant from the Netherlands as well.
Oh, okay.
So they met in Alberta before they came here. They were married in Alberta. So
which year, you remember which year they came?
Oh, that would have been in the 60s.
60s.
Yeah, that would have been early 60s, I believe, yeah. And don't quote me on that exactly.
Yeah, no. Well,
it was roughly in that
my
time.
wife's grandfather came here in 1906.
So
we have the Indo-Canadians, believe it or not, from India. The roots goes back to, over 150 years.
Yeah, that's amazing. That's great, yeah. So and I ended up growing up here. My dad and all his 10 brothers, they were in Surrey and North Delta. And so I had 50 first cousins.
Oh, wow. You're a busy man.
Yeah, the Van Vliet kids, we were all over the place. And I was born in Surrey Memorial Hospital. Grew up in North Delta originally, and then South Surrey, and spent most of my life in South Surrey. Had my kids, they grew up in South Surrey. I championed a new Catholic high school in South Surrey, St. John Paul II Academy. And that's the biggest project of my life, and probably the most fulfilling project of my life outside of having my own family. And so I'm a builder background as well. I grew up in that, of course. And I continue to flourish in Surrey, and I'd like to see some change. A couple of years ago, I was asked, if I'd consider running for mayor, and it was met with a hard no at that point. I was like, no, why would I do that? I'm not a politician. I still don't consider myself a politician. However, I've got a passion for Surrey, for the city of Surrey. There's that quote, I think it was Diane Watts that brought that in, Surrey, the future lives here.
Yeah.
And
she's a good friend.
Yes, well,
Diane
she's
Watts.
wonderful.
Yeah.
And that slogan still rings true today, Surrey, the future lives here, and it's perfect. But I have some concerns with it, though, because the city of Surrey, we have the largest cohort of young people in all of British Columbia. We have about between 80 and 85,000 kids from kindergarten to grade 12 right here in Surrey. The next closest, biggest cohort is Vancouver, and they've got about 50,000.
And how many we have?
85.
Oh,
yeah.
Wow.
So, and our youth, as you know, is our future.
Yes.
The one thing guaranteed in life is that we're all going to pass away at some point, and we're leaving, a legacy behind, hopefully, for our kids.
So, ਮੇਰੀ ਗੱਲ ਚੱਲ ਰਹੀ ਹੈ ਟਰੋਏ ਵੈਨ ਵਲੀਟ ਜਿਸ ਤਰ੍ਹਾਂ ਮੈਂ ਤੁਹਾਨੂੰ ਦੱਸ ਕੇ ਹਟਿਆ ਆ ਕਿ ਇਹ ਮੇਅਰ ਦੇ ਕੈਂਡੀਡੇਟ ਹੈ, ਇਹਦੀ ਟੀਮ ਦਾ ਨਾਮ ਹੈ ਸਰੀ ਨਾਓ, ਐਂਡ ਇਜ਼ ਅ ਫਰੈਸ਼ ਟੂ ਦ ਪੋਲੀਟਿਕਸ, ਐਂਡ ਇਹਨਾਂ ਦੇ ਜਿਹੜੇ ਪਲਾਨ ਆ ਉਹਦੇ ਬਾਰੇ ਗੱਲਬਾਤ ਹੋਊਗੀ। ਪਰ ਬਰੀਫਲੀ ਇਹਨਾਂ ਨੇ ਦੱਸਿਆ ਆ ਕਿ ਇਹ 10 ਭਰਾ ਇਹਨਾਂ ਦੇ ਜਿਹੜੇ ਆਪਣੇ ਨਿਊਜ਼ੀਲੈਂਡ ਤੋਂ ਹਾਲੈਂਡ ਵੀ ਆਪਾਂ ਕਹਿ ਦਿੰਦੇ ਉਹ ਮੂਵ ਹੋਏ ਸੀ ਅਲਬਰਟਾ 'ਚ। 10 brothers. They started a construction company in Alberta, I think Van Construction, and ਉਦੋਂ ਬਾਅਦ ਉਹ BC 'ਚ move ਹੋ ਗਏ ਸੀ। ਇੱਥੇ BC move ਹੋਣ ਤੋਂ ਬਾਅਦ Troy was born in Surrey Memorial Hospital, and have 2 daughters, and he met his wife here, Lisa, and and also ਇਹਨਾਂ ਨੇ ਆਪ ਦਾ ਜਿਹੜਾ ਸਕੂਲ ਕੈਥੋਲਿਕ ਸਕੂਲ ਆ ਉਹ ਇਹਨਾਂ ਸੈਂਟ ਪੌਲਸ second academy,
St. John Paul,
St. John Paul, so ਉਹ ਇਹਨਾਂ ਨੇ ਬਿਲਟ ਕੀਤਾ ਸੀ, ਸੋ ਇਹਨਾਂ ਨੂੰ ਐਜੂਕੇਸ਼ਨ ਬਾਰੇ ਕਾਫੀ ਨੌਲੇਜ ਹੈ ਬਿਕਾਜ਼ ਹੀ ਵਾਂਟਡ ਕਿਡਸ ਟੂ ਗੋ ਟੂ ਅ ਸੇਫ ਸਕੂਲ। ਇਹਨਾਂ ਨੇ ਦੱਸਿਆ ਕਿ ਆਪਣੇ ਸਰੀ ਦੇ ਵਿੱਚ, ਬਲੀਵ ਇਟ ਔਰ ਨਾਟ, ਆਈ ਵਾਜ਼ ਨਾਟ ਅਵੇਅਰ ਆਫ ਦੈਟ ਨੰਬਰ, ਦੈਟ 85,000 students we have. Next is Vancouver, only 50,000. And we can easily see the problems, growing pains here, you know, and kids are studying in portables.
Yeah, that is a problem. That's, you know, and that's something that goes up to all the way up to federal government in terms of our immigration policy. Surrey's grown exponentially over the last 10, 15 years, and we will surpass Vancouver in population very soon.
Yes.
Used to consider them being the big sister or big brother, and soon we will be the big sister, big brother population-wise. So we're a big city. We've grown fast. We haven't kept up with the growth in terms of our infrastructure, and schools are one of them. That's a big problem. We have 300 or 350 portables in our city.
Maybe more.
Yeah, that's a lot. So. And as it continues to grow, we got to catch up, and you know, that provincial funding, we need more of that to build more schools. Have to keep pushing on that. But our youth is, like I said, it is our future.
Yes.
The future lives here, currently lives here. What my biggest concern is, I'm not looking at the next 4 years. You know, God willing, I get elected as mayor. I'm not looking at the next 4 years. I'm looking way beyond that. So when I'm looking at our kids, it's what future do we have for them? Not just to live here, but to own a home here, to raise their family here. What kind of opportunities are we putting together for them? And that's not just infrastructure. That is a whole different kind of philosophy.
So ਸਾਡੀ ਗੱਲ ਕਾਫੀ ਟੌਪਿਕਸ ਤੇ ਚੱਲ ਰਹੀ ਹੈ। ਟਰੋਏ ਨੇ ਕਿਹਾ ਕਿ ਆਪਣੀ ਜਿਹੜੀ ਸਿਟੀ ਹੈਗੀ ਹੈ ਸਰੀ, ਇਹਨੇ ਬਾਈਪਾਸ ਕਰ ਜਾਣਾ ਵੈਨਕੂਵਰ ਨੂੰ ਇਨ ਫਿਊ ਈਅਰਸ। ਸੋ ਵੈਨ ਸਿਟੀਜ਼ ਗਰੋ, ਇਟਸ ਅ ਗਰੋਇੰਗ ਪੇਨਸ, ਤੇ ਉਹਦੇ ਨਾਲ ਨਾਲ ਜਿਹੜੀਆਂ ਪ੍ਰੋਬਲਮਾਂ ਹੈਗੀਆਂ ਉਹ ਵੀ ਕਾਫੀ ਹੈਗੀਆਂ ਬਿਕਾਜ਼ ਵੀ ਡੋਂਟ ਹੈਵ ਇਨਫਰਾਸਟਰਕਚਰ ਟੂ ਸਪੋਰਟ ਦੈਟ ਗਰੋਥ। ਪਰ ਇਹਨਾਂ ਨੇ ਕਿਹਾ ਕਿ ਜਿਹੜਾ ਯੂਥ ਆ ਉਹ ਆਪਣੇ ਨੈਕਸਟ ਜਿਹੜੀ ਜਨਰੇਸ਼ਨ ਆ ਉਹਨਾਂ ਦੇ ਹੱਥ 'ਚ ਇੱਥੋਂ ਦਾ ਫਿਊਚਰ ਹੈਗਾ, ਤੇ ਉਹਨਾਂ ਦੀ ਟੇਕ ਕੇਅਰ ਕਰਨਾ, ਉਹਨਾਂ ਦੇ ਲਈ ਪ੍ਰੋਪਰ ਇਨਫਰਾਸਟਰਕਚਰ, ਪ੍ਰੋਪਰ ਸਕੂਲ ਸਾਰੇ ਹੋਣੇ ਤਾਂ ਕਿ ਆ ਜਿਹੜੀਆਂ ਪ੍ਰੋਬਲਮਾਂ ਹੁਣ ਚੱਲ ਰਹੀਆਂ ਇਹ ਆਪਾਂ ਨੂੰ ਨਾ ਫੇਸ ਕਰਨੀਆਂ ਪੈਣ। Because you know, when you see these kind of problems, gang war and all these extortion, these things, you know, when they kids are not taken care of, and they are not getting proper jobs or proper education, and they have enough sports facilities after school, so they don't get into a bad crowd. So if you become a mayor, how you will fix that?
Okay. Well, that's a lot right there. But we'll start
it's a lot.
Yeah, we can start with, well, first of all, public safety. I think people are more passionate about their kids than they are about themselves. At least that knows I am anyway. That's one of the reasons why I built the new Catholic high school. I wanted a place for my kids to go to school.
So let me ask this. Sorry to interrupt you, but this Catholic school. What are how many students you have there?
Right now, there's approximately 150.
150.
We just opened it in September.
Oh, just opened.
Just opened in September. Yeah.
Last September.
Yeah. Exactly.
Okay.
So we haven't even finished our first year in the new building. So like last year, we were in a temporary facility. We only had 70-something kids. So this year we have 150. Next year we'll have over 220 or something like that.
So is it funded by provincial government? Zero.
Nothing. Well, 50% of the operations, because it's an independent school. 50% of teachers' salaries comes from the provincial government. But everything else, like the infrastructure, it was a $120 million project. Zero government funding for that, like zero, not a dime.
So it's all your money?
Not all my money. No. So we did it in partnership with the Vancouver Catholic Archdiocese.
Okay.
So of Vancouver, and but it was a parent-led initiative. So myself and a few other parents got together and we said, hey, what do we got to do to build a school? We approached the Archdiocese and said they had land already for a school, didn't have a financial structure in place that they thought they could build a school right away. So we presented a new financial structure. It took some creative thinking, some creative business thinking, creative initiatives to actually come up with this. So today we got this state-of-the-art, beautiful school.
So we're talking about, the school. It just started last year by his initiative and a team and Vancouver Diocese and Catholic. And it's a Catholic school and it's a privately funded, about $150 million. But ਜਿਹੜੇ teachers ਹੈ ਉਹਨਾਂ ਦੀ 50% salary ਜਿਹੜੀ ਉਹ ਆਪਣੇ ਗਵਰਨਮੈਂਟ ਪ੍ਰੋਵਿੰਸ਼ੀਅਲ ਗਵਰਨਮੈਂਟ ਤੋਂ ਆਉਂਦੀ ਹੈ ਸੋ ਇਹਨਾਂ ਨੂੰ ਮੈਂ few question ਪੁੱਛਣੇ ਆ because right now ਉੱਥੇ 150 students ਹੈ so what is your criteria who can go to that school is it have to be a Catholic?
No, it doesn't have to be Catholic. In fact, right now I think we're about 30% that are not Catholic that come to the
30%.
school. So we're open to non-Catholics as well. It was a program that we put together. Well, actually, I want to explain this to you. For independent schools in general, how they work, because there's a lot of misconceptions out there when they think, oh, the government's taking money away from the public system to give to the independent system. That's not true.
I think, just for a clarification for our viewers, independent schools are different than private schools.
Yes.
Like St. George's or Southridge.
Yes,
There is a different.
Independent, we still follow the BC curriculum. So now being Catholic, we have Catholic religious studies in there as well. And but we get, as long as we operate at the same level as a local public school, we get 50% of the teacher funding.
The curriculum have to be matching.
Yeah, we get 50% of that. And there's an audit done every single year. So if, a neighboring school like Grandview Heights operates at, say it's $12,000 per student, and we operate at $12,000 per student or less, then we'll get half. We'll get $6,000 from the government. So, but what the government doesn't have to pay for is the other half of the tuition, plus the infrastructure. So they don't pay anything for the building or the upkeep of the building or the mortgage payments on the building. We get zero funding for that. So actually the independent schools are a financial relief from the public system. They're not a tax burden on the public system.
So as you understand, it's a good segue because ਇਹਨਾਂ ਨੇ ਮੇਅਰ ਬਣਨਾ ਕੱਲ ਨੂੰ ਉਹਨਾਂ ਦਾ ਪਰਸਪੈਕਟਿਵ ਆਪਾਂ ਨੂੰ ਪਤਾ ਹੋਣਾ ਚਾਹੀਦਾ ਐਂਡ ਕਈ ਗੱਲਾਂ ਮੈਂ ਵੀ ਅੱਜ ਸਿੱਖ ਰਿਹਾ ਕਿਉਂਕਿ ਇੱਕ ਤਾਂ ਪਬਲਿਕ ਸਕੂਲ ਹੈ ਜਿੱਥੇ ਆਮ I will say over 75% or 80% kids go there. Then there is a private schools and they are crazily expensive. Southridge ਬੜਾ ਮਸ਼ਹੂਰ ਆ ਆਪਣੀ ਕਮਿਊਨਿਟੀ ਦੇ ਵਿੱਚ ਉੱਥੇ 24 to 30,000 a year even for the entry level. And St. George's in Vancouver is a very popular, similar kind of cost. But there is an independent school. So independent school, the benchmark are different, and this have to be a Catholic school. So is it parents have to fork out the fees?
Yes, there's still a
parents of the
fee.
students.
Yeah, but it's a lot less than, say, 100% private school. It's much, much less.
And they have uniforms?
Yep. Uniforms.
I love that part.
Yeah, so do I. Nobody has to think about what they got to wear.
Yeah. They're not having Armani suit and going to a grade.
No.
Which grade it starts from?
Grade 8. Grade 8 to 12.
Yeah. So it's very, very important. I like the uniform idea because then, it's the same dress everybody's wearing. And it's a co-ed, like boys and girls.
Yes, boys and girls, yes. So and we're off to a great start. Won lots of championships already. We have 11 championships banners for sports. So we believe in educating the whole person, mind, body, and spirit as well. Give our kids a good moral compass. Create good servant leaders to head out into our communities afterwards. So yeah.
So that's good to hear. So they already had a good start. Lot of awards, sports awards. I like that mind, body, and spirit. If we can put all these together, it makes life better. So having said that, let's move on to the city issues. It's very alarming. You just touch upon a little bit on public safety, how you will address differently. Because recently Brenda Locke asked for declaring emergency because it's to a point where people are scared.
Yeah.
And I never seen in 50 years, or people who are longer than me here, when I talk to them, and they say Canada ਉਹ ਨਹੀਂ ਰਿਹਾ ਜਿਹੜਾ ਪਹਿਲਾਂ ਹੁੰਦਾ ਸੀਗਾ, and ਜਿਹੜੇ small business, everybody have to feel safe, but they are not feeling safe.
Yeah, I think that's a massive problem, and it's kind of in the forefront right now. We have fallen behind here hugely with our personnel. I've got all the respect in the world for our first responders. We need more of them, and we need to create our own recruitment
We have
program for
shortage
them.
of police officers, by the way.
Oh, yeah.
It's recently they gave the numbers, and if you don't have enough police officers, I think they move on to transition a bit too fast.
Yeah, I
From
think
RCMP to
so.
City Police Service.
Yeah, but you know what, we're there now. I'm not part of that problem that was created before. I'm part of the solution to help fix it, to get in there and fix it. You know, we want to kind of take a private sector approach to come in there, a business approach to come in there and actually work on it. Figure out, we have to meet with the chief of police and actually figure out where is more money going to be more effective. Like, we can just say more police officers, which could be great. That we need more police officers. I fully agree with that. But how many more do we need? You know, and how can we spend the money more effectively in there as well to make sure that we're getting the biggest bang for our buck? You know, and a culture of recruitment is really important as well. So what I mean by that is Vancouver's got a good recruiting program. There are also, you know, city police there. They got a good recruitment program through their police cadet program, which before I even thought about running for mayor, I thought we need that here in Surrey. So we've already been talking to an
Community police or cadets.
Well, the cadets are a recruitment program. It's an introduction to our young students while they're still in high school into policing as a career. So there's Army cadets. Well, we also have police cadets.
Yeah, that's
and
a good idea.
We need to have our recruiting program. Once again, CJ, this isn't a 4-year program. This mess, unfortunately, can't be fixed 100% in 4 years. We have to look at building a whole new system for it to make sure Surrey police force is actually, we can't just bring people in from provinces and pay top dollar. We need to have some young police officers developed and recruited as well. I truly believe that. And I look forward to working with the chief of police. Like I said, I have all the respect in the world for our police officers.
Yeah, so ਇਹਨਾਂ ਦਾ ਕਹਿਣਾ ਹੈ ਕਿ ਜਿਹੜਾ ਪੁਲਿਸ ਦਾ ਜਿਹੜਾ ਸਿਸਟਮ ਹੈ, ਆਪਾਂ ਬਾਹਰੋਂ ਜਦੋਂ ਹਾਇਰ ਕਰਦੇ ਹਾਂ ਉਹਨੂੰ ਇੱਕ ਤਾਂ ਸੈਲਰੀ ਜ਼ਿਆਦਾ ਪੇ ਕਰਨੀ ਪੈਂਦੀ ਹੈ, ਯੂ ਹੈਵ ਟੂ ਮੈਚ देयर ਸੈਲਰੀ ਔਰ ਪੇ ਮੋਰ ਦੈਨ ਵਟ ਦੇ ਆਰ ਅਰਨਿੰਗ। ਉਹ ਕਹਿੰਦੇ ਵੀ ਇੱਥੇ ਜਿਹੜਾ ਪੁਲਿਸ ਕੈਡਟ ਪ੍ਰੋਗਰਾਮ ਹੈ, ਜਿਵੇਂ ਆਰਮੀ ਲਈ ਹੁੰਦਾ ਜਾਂ ਦੂਸਰੇ ਏਰੀਏ 'ਚ ਹੁੰਦਾ ਆ, ਦੈਟਸ ਅ ਨਿਊ ਥਿੰਗ ਆਈ ਹਰਡ। ਐਂਡ ਤੋ ਪੁਲਿਸ ਕੈਡਟਸ ਜਿਹੜੇ ਕਿ ਹਾਈ ਸਕੂਲ ਤੋਂ ਨਿਆਣੇ ਹੁੰਦੇ ਆ ਜਾਂ ਉੱਥੋਂ ਜਦੋਂ ਨਿਕਲਦੇ ਆ, so like a training program or interim program.
It's an introduction to it's like a pre-introduction. It's like the initial recruiting program to get kids interested in it early. It's just like a trades program in school. We have a shortage of tradespeople, and we have to import from other countries. Well, if you don't have a program that's encouraging our young people to get into trades, well, how do you expect them to get into trades? It doesn't just happen automatically. So, and same thing with our policing. You know.
So that's a safety issue, and we know that we need more funding and more help from provincial government, even from a federal government, because they last time they did that, seeing the problem.
And they should.
Yeah,
you know,
Prime Minister was here.
They're in control of our immigration.
Yeah.
And if we're a city that's getting a big chunk of immigration, of people, of new immigrants landing here, and if the vetting program isn't that strong, that's problematic, and we can't control that.
Yeah,
you know?
and they put some brakes on that lately.
Yes.
You are aware of that.
Yes.
So ਇਹਨਾਂ ਨੇ ਕਿਹਾ ਕਿ ਇਮੀਗ੍ਰੇਸ਼ਨ ਦਾ ਜਿਹੜਾ ਸਿਸਟਮ ਹੈਗਾ ਉਸ ਤੇ ਜਿਹੜੀ ਵੈਟਿੰਗ ਪ੍ਰੋਸੈਸ ਹੈਗੀ ਹੈ, ਕਿਉਂਕਿ ਜੇ ਕ੍ਰਿਮੀਨਲਸ ਆ ਕੇ ਵੜ ਗਏ ਕੰਟਰੀ ਦੇ ਵਿੱਚ ਫਿਰ ਤਾਂ ਆਹ ਪੰਗੇ ਪੈਣੇ ਹੀ ਪੈਣੇ ਆ। ਸੋ ਟਰੋਏ ਦਾ ਕਹਿਣਾ ਹੈ ਕਿ ਉਹ ਵੈਟਿੰਗ ਪ੍ਰੋਸੈਸ ਹੈ ਜਿਹੜੀ ਪ੍ਰੋਪਰ ਹੋਣੀ ਚਾਹੀਦੀ ਹੈ। What other issue you will take on?
This is a big one. Well, you know, we believe in families first. Family is top of the line. And if it's good for the family, it's good for the city of Surrey. You know, I strongly believe in that. And we're mission oriented in that regard. And public safety, of course, is good for the family. So that's one of our pillars. Smart planning, big thing. We got to plan our cities properly and make sure that, and I have a building and developing background, more of a residential builder myself. I grew up in commercial construction. So we've been a part of building our community already, like physically. And we see some great things have done. We see some things that, could be done better in planning, I think. But here's one of the biggest things. We've talked about the future lives here.
Yes.
We want the future to stay here.
Yes.
How do we do that? I had a conversation with my own daughter the other day. We were talking about AI and the changing of the world and what have you, what's going on. And then she brought up, the cost of living where we live. And then she said, "Oh, Dad, she's already got she's got a boyfriend. They were talking about getting married. They want to have a family." And they said, "Well, we don't think we're going to be able to live here." I'm like, "What do you mean?" She said, "Well, we can't afford, if we have our salaries, a teacher's salary, another working wage salary, we're not going to be able to afford to own a home here. Like, how could we do that? How could we possibly save enough for a down payment?" And that just hit me. Like, my own daughter is telling me that she can't be here. Your kids, your family, you do everything for them. And they're saying, we're not going to be able to afford it here. The kids that are growing up in Vancouver are saying they can't afford it. And they're trying to move to the valley. And the kids in the valley are going like, we can't afford it. We got to move out because the costs have gone up.
ਸੋ ਟਰੋਏ ਦਾ ਕਹਿਣਾ ਕਿ ਇਹਨਾਂ ਦੀ ਆਪ ਦੀ ਜਿਹੜੀ ਡਾਟਰ ਹੈਗੀ ਹੈ ਨਾ ਐਂਡ ਉਹਨਾਂ ਨੇ ਕਿਹਾ ਕਿ ਜਿਹੜੀ ਅਫੋਰਡੇਬਿਲਟੀ ਹੈ ਉਹ ਕਹਿੰਦੇ ਵੀ ਅਸੀਂ ਅਫੋਰਡ ਨਹੀਂ ਕਰ ਸਕਦੇ ਇੱਥੇ ਘਰ ਟੂ ਥਿੰਕ ਅਬਾਊਟ ਦੈਟ ਮਤਲਬ ਬਿਲੋਂਗਸ ਟੂ ਸੱਚ ਅ ਗੁੱਡ ਫੈਮਿਲੀ ਐਂਡ ਨਾਟ ਏਬਲ ਟੂ ਅਫੋਰਡ ਅ ਹਾਊਸ ਮਤਲਬ ਜੇ ਉਹਨਾਂ ਨੂੰ ਇਸ਼ੂ ਹੋ ਗਿਆ ਤਾਂ ਆਮ ਬੰਦੇ ਦਾ ਇਸ਼ੂ ਕੀ ਹੋਣਾ ਹੈ ਕਿਉਂਕਿ ਅਫੋਰਡੇਬਿਲਟੀ ਜਿਹੜੀ ਹੈ ਉਹਨਾਂ ਨਾਲ ਗੱਲ ਕਰਾਂਗੇ ਬਟ ਯੂ ਆਰ ਅ ਵੈਲ ਆਫ ਗਾਈ ਯੂ can give them a home.
I would like to think that, yes, I would help her. But if my own daughter is saying that,
yeah.
What is the rest of the family?
Exactly, that's what I said in Punjabi. ਵੀ ਜਿਹੜਾ ਆਮ ਬੰਦਾ ਚਲੋ ਇਹਦਾ ਬੰਦਾ ਵੈਲ ਐਸਟੈਬਲਿਸ਼ ਹੈਗਾ ਜੇ ਆਪਣੇ ਜਿਹੜੇ ਵੈਲ ਐਸਟੈਬਲਿਸ਼ ਚਲੋ ਥੋੜਾ ਬਹੁਤ ਹੈਲਪ ਵੀ ਕਰਕੇ ਦੇਣਗੇ ਪਰ ਆਮ ਬੰਦਾ ਕੀ ਕਰੂਗਾ ਆਮ ਬੰਦਾ ਜਿਹੜਾ I can tell you honestly because my subject was economics as well growing up. So husband and wife with 2 kids. If they make $250,000 a year, considered to be a good income, they can't afford a house.
No.
They can't save enough money to pay the down payment. And I don't deny what your daughter said.
At our launch there a couple of weeks ago, which you were attended, thank you for coming, by the way.
You're welcome.
I was talking to a police officer that just joined the SPS, and he makes $150,000 a year. He just moved from Alberta. That's decent money. It's decent money.
Yeah.
But he's like, "Troy, I can't afford to live in the city.
Yes.
I can work here, but I got to go further out or to another cheaper place to
live. Well, that's already happening. And the sad part is a lot of people are moving to Alberta for that reason. I think there was some number given, but I don't want to give the wrong number.
Yeah.
But we lost about 70,000.
Or we've got population decreasing.
Yeah. So what should we do about affordability?
I'm glad you asked.
Like people, it's nice. Everybody knows there is a problem, but how we're going to fix it?
Yes. Okay, so affordability issues, the biggest issue. The cost of construction, we can't really control that. So much of it's commodity based. It's like a world market. We can't really control that. We can control the cost of city fees to get something built, and then hopefully be able to speed up so we can build more quicker. That's something that we need to look at it being more effective. Land prices, that's a supply-demand thing. It goes with the market. So we don't have a ton of control over that either. One of the things that we can control, and I hate government interference. I can't stand it. The more government gets involved, the worse things get. That's my humble opinion, but it's shared by many. When I look at what the federal government has done recently with CMHC financing and stuff like that, what they're trying to do is they wanted to increase housing because they're bringing so many people into the country. What do they do for developers? They say, hey, we're going to give you this great financing for purpose-built rental so that we can build more housing quickly and we can put people in rental. So then we end up with this, flood in the market of rental housing. Not necessarily a bad thing, but why does the government have to put incentives in there? It's because they created a problem with housing to begin with, and now they got to try and fix it. So but I don't think that's the right way to fix it necessarily.
So ਸਾਡੀ ਜਿਹੜੀ ਗੱਲ ਚੱਲ ਰਹੀ ਹੈ ਘਰਾਂ ਦੇ ਬਾਰੇ ਜਿਹੜੀ ਉਹਦੀ ਕਾਸਟ ਹੈਗੀ ਹੈ ਐਂਡ ਟਰੋਏ ਦਾ ਕਹਿਣਾ ਕਿ ਕਈ ਚੀਜ਼ਾਂ ਆਪਣਾ ਕੰਟਰੋਲ ਨਹੀਂ ਹੈ ਕਿਉਂਕਿ ਲੈਂਡ ਪ੍ਰਾਈਸਿਸ ਜਿਹੜੀ ਹੈ ਡਿਮਾਂਡ ਐਂਡ ਸਪਲਾਈ ਹੈਗੀ ਕਿਉਂਕਿ ਲੈਂਡ ਦੀ ਪ੍ਰਾਈਸ ਹੈਗੀ ਉਹ ਤੁਸੀਂ ਕੁਝ ਕਰ ਨਹੀਂ ਸਕਦੇ ਜਿਹੜਾ ਮੇਨ ਪ੍ਰੋਬਲਮ ਹੈਗੀ ਹੈ ਜਿਹੜੇ ਕੰਸਟਰਕਸ਼ਨ ਜਿਹੜੀ ਕਾਸਟ ਇਨਵੋਲਵ ਉਹਦੇ ਵਿੱਚ ਹੈਗੀ ਹੈ ਐਂਡ ਇੰਟਰਫੀਰੈਂਸ ਆਫ ਦਾ ਗਵਰਨਮੈਂਟ ਇਹਨਾਂ ਨੇ ਕਿਹਾ ਕਿ ਜਿਹੜਾ ਹੁਣ ਫੈਡਰਲ ਗਵਰਨਮੈਂਟ ਨੇ ਪ੍ਰੋਗਰਾਮ ਲਿਖਿਆ CMHC ਦੇ ਥਰੂ ਪਰਪਸ ਬਿਲਡ ਹਾਊਸਿਸ, ਉਹਦੇ ਬਾਰੇ ਗੱਲਬਾਤ ਕਰਾਂਗੇ ਤਾਂ ਕਿ ਆਪਾਂ ਨੂੰ ਥੋੜ੍ਹੇ ਜਿਹੇ ਕਲੂ ਮਿਲ ਸਕਣ। ਸੋ ਗੋਇੰਗ ਬੈਕ ਟੂ ਦੇਅਰ, ਬਿਕਾਜ਼ ਆਈ ਆਲਵੇਜ਼ ਹੈਵ ਅ ਇਸ਼ੂ ਵਿਦ ਲਾਈਕ ਇਟ ਟੇਕਸ forever to issue the permits. That delays, that increases developers' cost. Because a lot of South Asians are in a development business, and now they're sitting so tight. Some of them are sitting on the bankruptcies, or close to a bankruptcy.
There's so many. I get them emailed to me every day. The industry's not doing well right now. There's a lot of people losing money or closing up shop because of it.
And people are suffering, and it's a sad thing to see. And so the permits takes a long time. And the cost goes up because you still have to carry the cost of the mortgage of the land even.
Everything.
And government's interference. You mentioned your daughter talking about AI, having artificial intelligence, and why don't we have a seamless process to, there is for a lot of things.
We have to do that.
They have to be processed. No human being involved.
No. And if there is a human being involved, it might be, administering, but it should all be able to be done faster. I've seen it several times. I've dealt with the city of Vancouver and dealt recently with the city of Surrey, of course, in this massive project, the school project. Everybody's doing their best. They're all overworked. There's so much coming in all at once. So our city staff is they just can't get. You have a city staffer that gets a stack of applications on their desk. If they go away on holidays even or something like that, it doesn't always go to somebody else's desk. It stays there until they get back.
I gone through that in White Rock.
It's very difficult. It's very difficult.
Engineer leaves. He gone for 2 weeks. My file was closed for 2 weeks.
So the answer isn't always hiring more people. Sometimes it's helping our existing staff become more effective at what they do, and AI I think is going to help that in a lot of ways. That's something we're going to have to bring in. We don't have any choice if we're going to stay competitive.
Artificial intelligence ਦੀ ਅਸੀਂ ਗੱਲ ਕਰਦੇ ਸੀ ਕਿ ਜਿਹੜੇ ਪਰਮਿਟ ਪ੍ਰੋਸੈਸ ਹੈ, ਚਲੋ ਹਿਊਮਨ ਬੀਇੰਗ ਟੱਚ ਤਾਂ ਚਾਹੀਦਾ ਹੈ ਫॉर ਸਰਟਨ ਥਿੰਗਸ, ਪਰ ਬਾਕੀ ਜਿਹੜੀਆਂ ਚੀਜ਼ਾਂ ਕੈਨ ਬੀ ਸੀਮਲੈਸ। ਐਂਡ ਜੇ ਉੱਥੇ ਕੋਈ ਇਫ ਐਂਡ ਬਟਸ ਨਹੀਂ ਹੈਗੇ ਐਂਡ ਫੋਲੋ ਆਲ ਦ ਰੂਲਸ ਐਂਡ ਰੈਗੂਲੇਸ਼ਨਸ, ਹੈਵ ਟੂ ਬੀ ਏ ਬਿਲਡਿੰਗ ਕੋਡ ਐਂਡ ਐਵਰੀਥਿੰਗ, ਦੇ ਹੈਵ ਟੂ ਫੋਲੋ ਦੈਟ ਟੂ ਬੀ ਏ ਸੇਫ ਕਮਿਊਨਿਟੀਜ਼। ਇਹਨਾਂ ਦਾ ਹੋਰ ਵੀ ਮੰਤਰਾ ਹੈਗਾ ਕਿ ਫੈਮਲੀਜ਼ ਫਰਸਟ ਹੈਗੀਆਂ, ਐਂਡ ਨਾਟ ਓਨਲੀ ਦ ਫਿਊਚਰ ਲਿਵਸ ਹੇਅਰ, ਬਟ Troy the kind of future should stay here. It's very important because we are losing a people. We have a few minutes left, believe it or not. But having said that, tell us about...
How do we get the future to stay here? I gotta...
That one, and then you can lead to talk about a little bit of your team and how you will run the city differently than the other people's mandate are, or the way city is running right now.
Okay. Well, first part about getting the future to stay here, because it goes hand in hand, CJ. What I want to do, like right now there's a Surrey City Development Corporation. It's the development arm of the city of Surrey. And they've got currently 4 purpose-built rental towers planned for the City Gateway SkyTrain station. So 4 towers of 100% rental, I think it's something like 1,800 units that they want to rent to people that live in our municipality. In our neighborhoods. So they're going to create this whole neighborhood of renters in there. Well, that doesn't give our young people hope, because that's the first step towards socialism. Government-owned buildings that they rent back to people, and it's not a form of... What we want to do is we want to bring in a rent-to-own program to help our young people, give our young people hope that they can all of a sudden have ownership in their community, ownership in their neighborhood, pride in ownership. And we can do that for both residential and we can do it commercially as well. You can build a tower of the podium and you have commercial space below. How about we attract businesses where we have rent to own leasing or lease to own?
That's a very good idea. ਸਾਡੀ ਗੱਲਬਾਤ ਚੱਲ ਰਹੀ ਸੀ ਕਿ ਜਿਹੜੇ ਇਹਨਾਂ ਨੇ 4 ਟਾਵਰਸ ਬਣਾਉਣੇ ਆ ਸਿਟੀ ਸੈਂਟਰ ਦੇ ਵਿੱਚ, ਉਹਦੇ ਵਿੱਚ ਫਿਰ ਇਹਨਾਂ ਨੇ ਕਿਹਾ ਕਿ ਸਾਰੇ ਰੈਂਟਲ ਕਮਿਊਨਿਟੀਜ਼ ਹੋਣੀਆਂ। ਜੇ ਸਾਰੀਆਂ ਰੈਂਟਲ ਕਮਿਊਨਿਟੀ ਹੋ ਗਈਆਂ, ਜਿਹੜੇ ਯੰਗ ਪੀਪਲ ਆ ਉਹਨਾਂ ਦਾ ਜਿਹੜਾ ਡ੍ਰੀਮ ਟੂ ਓਨ ਏ ਹਾਊਸ ਉਹ ਕਿਵੇਂ ਪੂਰਾ ਹੋਊਗਾ? ਸੋ ਇਹਨਾਂ ਦਾ ਕਹਿਣਾ ਹੈ ਕਿ ਜਿਹੜਾ ਕਨਸੈਪਟ ਹੈ, ਪਹਿਲਾਂ ਵੀ ਮੈਂ 1-2 ਵਾਰੀ ਡਿਸਕਸ ਕੀਤਾ, ਰੈਂਟ ਟੂ ਓਨ ਕਾਈਂਡ ਆਫ ਕਨਸੈਪਟ, ਦ ਪੀਪਲ ਦੇਖਣ ਵੀ ਅਸੀਂ ਹੁਣ ਰੈਂਟ ਪੇ ਕਰ ਰਹੇ ਹਾਂ, ਇੱਕ ਦਿਨ ਇਹ ਘਰ ਸਾਡਾ ਹੋ ਜਾਣਾ। ਆਈ ਥਿੰਕ ਆਈ ਲਾਈਕ ਦੈਟ ਕਨਸੈਪਟ। ਐਂਡ ਅਨਦਰ ਥਿੰਗ, Troy, I like, I'm a free enterprise kind of guy, and I had 3 Ps. public-private partnerships.
Yes.
You know, you can't leave everything at the government.
No, we don't want that. And why would the government want to build a building and own it and rent it back to its own people and profit off its own? It's just another tax.
Yeah.
But what the government can do when it comes to development is do things that the private sector doesn't want to do. Private sector, it's kind of a messy thing, rent to own. They just like to get in and get out as a private development. So with this, if you're going to rent it anyway, being the municipality, if it's going to rent it, why not do a rent-to-own program and give our young people a leg up? Give them a reason to stay.
It's a very good idea.
Rather
I like
than a
that.
reason to live,
Yes.
reason to leave. We've got a new hospital that we're building, $1.7 billion hospital in the middle of Cloverdale. It's the middle of nowhere, really, quite. It's in Cloverdale, but it's in a field, big empty field.
I hope that it will be built, announced 10 times.
Yes, well, and it's not, it's already not big enough. You know, what they're building now is not big enough. We're so far behind. But CJ, how are we going to recruit doctors, nurses, nurse practitioners? How are we going to recruit them?
That's another challenge.
When they leave UBC or they leave SFU and they become doctors, they complete these programs. Now we're all of a sudden competing on the world stage for our doctors, and they leave. When we could do another thing to try and keep them here by saying, look, not only can you work here, we've also got a place for you to live here, and you can rent to own. You've come out of the university with all this debt, and here now we can start, and you got to pay rent anyway. How about rent to own?
You know, you probably know, Troy, we have a shortage of nurses and doctors, and 1 million British Columbians don't have a family physician. And that's alarming. It's not that we need more doctors, we need more nurses. We have a healthcare system is almost seems like broken, like wait times 10, 12 hours. You know, and
it is broken. We've all lived it. You know, if you have to go into emergency, God forbid, for anything, it's
so it's a multiple problems now. And if you become a mayor of Surrey, how you will do differently? First of all, tell a little bit about your team, your concept, your mandate, and how you will do things differently. My take is you should be run City Hall as a business.
It has to be.
Not as a...
It has to be as a business.
So please,
I've started businesses, I've run several businesses, and it's difficult to, you know, and I've had big wins, and I've had big losses along the way. So I know more what to look for, and I sign the front of the checks, not just the back of the check, you know, so I'm used to doing that as a business person. So you have to look at all the different aspects in a city, and it's got to be run efficiently. Our taxpayers, they're up to here with paying taxes. You know, to come in and say, well, the solution is we have to collect more money from you when it's not there. You know, people are already living paycheck to paycheck. We can't go back to our citizens and say, hey, we got to pay more taxes. So we have to find solutions to work with the money that we're already collecting. We have to stay within those budgets. We have to get more effective. And this is the beauty of having non-politicians. All of our slate, both slates are non-politicians. We've got professionals in there. We have a family physician in there. We've got lawyer in there. We've got business owners in there. We've got builders in there. We've got real estate professionals in there. People that are invested in the community. Like I said, they're used to signing the front of the check, not just the back of the check. And they're used to running businesses. So we can come in there, we can look at this, we can bring fresh, new ideas to say, hey, look, the way we've been doing things, we can't keep doing this. We're in a mess right now. And I'm always grateful to the people that stand up to put their hat in the ring to go into politics, because it's not always the most rewarding thing to do, from what I understand.
It's not easy. So,
मैं
इन्होंने पूछ रहा सीगा कि ये किस तरह differently run करनेंगे City Hall. So इन्होंने कहना have to be run efficiently. फिर इन्हों दी टीम बारे में पूछा सीगा क्योंकि have to be run like a business. Troy दा कहना है जिवें business people है they can't afford to have a loss all the time and you can't keep on increasing the taxes. But tax नहीं ਵਧਾਈ जाने लोगों को तो पैसे नहीं है pay करने ਲਈ. They have a hard time putting a food on the table and taxes on top of that. ਐਂਡ ਸੋ ਇਹਨਾਂ ਦਾ ਕਹਿਣਾ ਕਿ ਪਹਿਲੀ ਗੱਲ ਤਾਂ ਇਹ ਰਨ ਹੋਣਾ ਚਾਹੀਦਾ ਜਸਟ ਲਾਈਕ ਅ ਬਿਜ਼ਨਸ, ਪਰ ਦੂਜੇ ਪਾਸੇ ਇਹਨਾਂ ਦੀ ਟੀਮ ਹੈ ਜਿਹੜੀ ਕਿ ਉਸ ਦੇ ਵਿੱਚ ਬਿਜ਼ਨਸਮੈਨ ਹੈ, ਡਾਕਟਰ ਹੈਗਾ ਆ, ਰੀਅਲ ਸਟੇਟ ਪੀਪਲ ਹੈਗੇ ਆ, ਕੰਸਟਰਕਸ਼ਨ ਡਿਵੈਲਪਰ, ਸੋ a wide range of people with a wide range of experience ਐਂਡ ਉਹ ਕਹਿੰਦੇ ਸਾਡੀ ਟੀਮ ਹੈਗੀ ਹੈ, ਨੌਨ ਪੋਲੀਟੀਸ਼ੀਅਨ ਇਹ ਹੈਗੇ ਇਹਨਾਂ ਪਹਿਲਾਂ ਪੋਲੀਟਿਕਸ 'ਚ ਕਦੇ ਰਨ ਨਹੀਂ ਕੀਤਾ, ਸੋ it's maybe it will be a different vibe there.
Yeah, well, we can't, you know, the definition of insanity is doing the same thing over and over and expecting a different result, right?
Totally,
We've all heard that
yeah.
before. Well, we've had politicians that have been in there for 20, 30 years now that are running that might not have as big of a long-term vision as what we do. So that's one of the things that we bring to the table. You know, private business, long-term vision, so that we can make some real changes and put Surrey on the global map.
Yeah. So Troy ਦਾ ਕਹਿਣਾ ਹੈ ਕਿ ਜਿਹੜੇ ਬਿਜ਼ਨਸ ਪੀਪਲ ਇਹਨਾਂ ਦੇ ਨਾਲ ਰਨ ਐਜ਼ ਅ ਬਿਜ਼ਨਸ, ਬ੍ਰਿੰਗ ਸਮ ਸੈਨਿਟੀ ਟੂ ਦੈਟ, ਇਹ ਨਹੀਂ ਹੈਗਾ ਵੀ ਕੀਪ ਔਨ ਡੂਇੰਗ ਸੇਮ ਥਿੰਗ ਐਂਡ ਐਕਸਪੈਕਟਿੰਗ ਅ ਡਿਫਰੈਂਟ ਆਊਟਕਮ ਜਾਂ ਰਿਜ਼ਲਟ, ਇਹ ਨਹੀਂ ਹੈ ਉਹੀ ਕੰਮ ਕਰੀ ਜਾਓ ਅਤੇ ਆਪਾਂ ਤੁਸੀਂ ਸੋਚੋ ਵੀ ਕੋਈ ਵਧੀਆ ਉਹਦਾ ਆਪਣੇ ਰਿਜ਼ਲਟ ਨਿਕਲੂਗਾ, ਉਹ ਪੋਸੀਬਲ ਹੈ ਨਹੀਂਗਾ। ਸੋ that's good to hear, a little bit different tone than other candidates, even they are well meant too, and I know that for a long time. So we have 2-3 minutes left. What do you would like to say at the end?
Well, we've got, well, it's a long road, but it's a short road, if that makes sense right now, October 17th. You know, one of the things that we really want to do is mobilize voters as well, CJ. Even if you don't vote for me, get out and vote. There's the smallest turnout in the municipal voting, which is really sad to see, because it's something that probably impacts people more than any jurisdiction in government is your municipal politicians. So number one, get out and vote. Number two, if you want to help or contribute to our campaign, surreynow.ca, just go to the website and you can see the volunteer opportunities that we have there. And the other thing that I want to mention too is if you want to donate, you can do that right on our website as well. So
yeah, well, thank you, Troy, coming on my show. Mostly when people come on my show, they said 1 hour. They think it's a long time. I think we can go another hour.
There's a lot.
There's so many issues. And then there is a lot of very concerning issues because people of Surrey are really concerned. And they're fed up. And they want something to be done and have to be done soon. Rather than waiting. But thank you. And good luck to you in your bid for a mayor. We will see what happens. So ਮੇਰੀ ਗੱਲਬਾਤ ਹੋ ਰਹੀ ਸੀ ਟਰੋਏ ਵੈਨ ਵਲੀਟ, ਜਿਹੜੇ ਕਿ ਮੇਅਰ ਦੇ ਕੈਂਡੀਡੇਟ ਹੈ। ਇਹਨਾਂ ਦੀ ਟੀਮ ਹੈਗੀ ਹੈ ਸਰੀ ਨਾਓ, ਇਹਨਾਂ ਦੀ ਵੈਬਸਾਈਟ ਹੈਗੀ surreynow.ca, ਉਸ 'ਤੇ ਸਾਰੀ ਇਨਫੋਰਮੇਸ਼ਨ ਹੈ, ਇਹਨਾਂ ਦੇ ਕੈਂਡੀਡੇਟਸ ਦੀ ਵੀ ਇਨਫੋਰਮੇਸ਼ਨ ਹੈਗੀ ਹੈ। ਐਂਡ ਮਾਈ ਗੁੱਡ ਫਰੈਂਡ ਰਾਹੁਲ ਗਿੱਲ ਕੇਮ ਵਿਦ ਹਿਮ, but he's not ready for interview yet. ਮੈਂ ਕਿਹਾ ਕੋਈ ਨਹੀਂ, ਤੇਰਾ ਝਾਕਾ ਖੋਲ ਦੇਂਗੇ। CJ ਨਾਲ ਬਹਿ ਗਿਆ, no problem. And I make it easy for my host. I don't put them people on the spot. So ਸਾਡੀ ਗੱਲਾਂ ਬਾਤਾਂ ਕਾਫੀ ਇਸ਼ੂਜ਼ 'ਤੇ ਚੱਲੀਆਂ। ਸੇਫਟੀ ਦਾ ਇਸ਼ੂ ਹੈਗਾ ਆ, ਉਸ ਤੋਂ ਇਲਾਵਾ ਆਪਣੇ ਇਨਫਰਾਸਟਰਕਚਰ ਦਾ, ਆਪਣਾ ਰੋਡਸ ਦਾ, ਟ੍ਰੈਫਿਕ ਦਾ, ਯੂ ਨੋ ਦੇਰ ਮਲਟੀਪਲ ਇਸ਼ੂ। ਸਿਟੀ ਇਜ਼ ਗਰੋਇੰਗ ਫਾਸਟ। ਆਪਾਂ ਵੈਨਕੂਵਰ ਨੂੰ ਪਾਸ ਕਰ ਲੈਣਾ, ਪਰ ਆਪਣੇ ਕੋਲ ਜਿਹੜੇ ਰਿਸੋਰਸਿਸ ਹੈਗੇ ਆ ਉਹ ਇਨਫ ਨਹੀਂ ਹੈਗੇ। ਫੈਡਰਲ ਗੌਰਮੈਂਟ ਚਲੋ ਆਪਦਾ ਹਿੱਸਾ ਪਾਉਂਦੀ, ਪ੍ਰੋਵਿੰਸ਼ੀਅਲ ਗੌਰਮੈਂਟ ਵੀ ਪਾਉਂਦੀ ਹੈ, ਬਟ ਸਟਿਲ ਐਂਡ ਰਾਈਟ ਨਾਓ ਦਾ ਹਿਊਜ ਇਸ਼ੂ ਇਜ਼ ਅ ਪਬਲਿਕ ਸੇਫਟੀ। ਸੋ ਇਹਨਾਂ ਦੇ ਉਸ ਲਈ ਪਲਾਨ ਹੈਗੇ ਆ, ਵੀ ਨੀਡ ਮੋਰ ਪੁਲਿਸ ਆਫੀਸਰਸ ਐਂਡ ਈਵਨ ਬ੍ਰੈਂਡਲੌਗ ਵਾਂਟ ਦੈਟ ਟੂ ਬੀ ਡਿਕਲੇਅਰਡ ਐਜ਼ ਐਮਰਜੈਂਸੀ। ਆਈ ਡੋਂਟ ਬਲੇਮ ਹਰ। ਸੋ ਇਹ ਦੇਖਣ ਨੂੰ ਮਿਲੂਗਾ ਕਿ ਆਪਣੇ ਆਉਣ ਵਾਲਾ ਜਿਹੜਾ ਢਾਂਚਾ ਹੈ ਉਹਨੂੰ ਕਿਸ ਤਰ੍ਹਾਂ ਇਹ ਸਵਾਰਦੇ ਆ। ਜਿਹੜੀਆਂ ਇਲੈਕਸ਼ਨ ਸਿਟੀ ਇਲੈਕਸ਼ਨ ਦੀਆਂ ਜਿਹੜੀਆਂ ਡੇਟਸ ਹੈ, April 2026 they are recruiting people ਆਪਣੇ civic election ਲਈ। July 15 of this year nomination package is available, ਜਿਹੜੇ ਕੈਂਡੀਡੇਟਾਂ ਨੂੰ nomination package ਮਿਲ ਜਾਣੇ। September 1st to 11 candidate nomination period, ਸੋ ਉਹਦੇ nomination ਜਿਹੜੇ ਹੈਗੇ ਉਹ ਸ਼ੁਰੂ ਹੋ ਜਾਣੇ। September 11 declaration of the candidates, so 11 ਸਤੰਬਰ ਉਹਨਾਂ ਨੇ ਡਿਕਲੇਅਰ ਕਰ ਦੇਣਾ ਕਿ ਕਿਹੜੇ ਕਿਹੜੇ ਕੈਂਡੀਡੇਟ ਆ। October 7, October 10, October 14, October 15, very important dates. This is advance voting, so ਪਹਿਲਾਂ ਜਿੰਨੇ ਵੋਟਾਂ ਪਾ ਲਓ ਉਨੀਆਂ ਵਧੀਆ। ਜਿਵੇਂ ਟਰੋਏ ਨੇ ਕਿਹਾ ਆ ਕਿ ਵੋਟ ਪਾਉਣੀ ਬਹੁਤ ਜ਼ਰੂਰੀ ਹੈ। ਜਦੋਂ ਆਪਾਂ ਘਰੇ ਬੈਠੇ ਰਹਿੰਦੇ ਹਾਂ then we have no reason to complain about it. You have to get out and pick and select the people who can really make difference. And ਸਾਰਿਆਂ ਦੇ ਜਿਹੜੇ ਪਲੇਟਫਾਰਮ ਹੈ, ਸਾਰੇ ਕੈਂਡੀਡੇਟਸ ਜਿਹੜੇ ਹੈਗੇ ਆ, ਵੈਲ ਮੈਨਡ ਗੁੱਡ ਟੀਮਸ, ਉਹਨਾਂ ਦੀ ਵੈਬਸਾਈਟ ਤੇ ਜਾ ਕੇ ਉਹਨਾਂ ਦਾ ਪਲੇਟਫਾਰਮ ਦੇਖੋ, ਉਸ ਤੇ ਬੇਸਡ ਕਰੋ ਕਿ ਕਿਹੜਾ ਬੈਸਟ ਸਿਟੀ ਨੂੰ ਰਨ ਕਰ ਸਕਦਾ, ਤਾਂ ਕਿ ਕੁਝ ਚੇਂਜਸ ਜਿਹੜੇ ਹੈਗੇ ਆ ਕਮਿਊਨਿਟੀ ਦੇ ਵਿੱਚ ਆਉਣ ਤੇ things will be get done. And as you know, so those are October 7, October 10, October 14, 15 are the advance polls. ਕਾਫੀ ਲੋਕੀ ਉਸ 'ਚ ਵੋਟਾਂ ਪਾਉਂਦੇ ਆ, ਖਾਸ ਕਰਕੇ ਜਿਹੜੇ ਕੈਂਡੀਡੇਟਸ ਦੇ ਜਿਹੜੇ ਟੀਮਸ ਹੈਗੀਆਂ ਜਾਂ ਉਹਨਾਂ ਦੇ ਵੋਲੰਟੀਅਰਸ actually if they get out of the day they can help on October 17 is election day from 8 o'clock to 8 p.m. So ਜ਼ਰੂਰ ਜਾਇਆ ਕਰੋ, ਵੋਟ ਜ਼ਰੂਰ ਪਾਇਆ ਕਰੋ, ਇਹ ਜਿਹੜੇ ਪਲੇਟਫਾਰਮ ਹੈਗੇ ਇਹਨਾਂ ਨੂੰ ਜ਼ਰੂਰ ਸੁਣਿਆ ਕਰੋ, ਇਸੇ ਤਰ੍ਹਾਂ ਦੇਖਦੇ ਰਿਹਾ ਕਰੋ ਪ੍ਰੋਫੈਸਰ CJ ਸਿੱਧੂ ਸ਼ੋ ਐਵਰੀ ਥਰਸਡੇ ਫਰਮ 7 to 8 o'clock। ਧੰਨਵਾਦ, ਰੱਬ ਰਾਖਾ, ਸਤਿ ਸ਼੍ਰੀ ਅਕਾਲ।